this video I'm going to show you how to draw this beautiful female pretty face. Hi, I'm Allison Pryor and I'm going to show you today how to draw this beautiful pretty face portrait with pencil. In my other video I showed you how to draw the face measuring with a pencil. Now you can go to that video and start your drawing by measuring the eyes and the nose from the picture. So I just did a quick drawing, and I did it by looking at the picture. So you get your picture out that you want to draw, and then you take a pencil and you measure the face, but that's in the other video, so I'll leave that. So what I did was I did my drawing right here, so I can show you how to do the shading and bring it to life. So once you get your drawing done, then when you shade it, you should be able to get a really nice face like this and bring it out to make it look so pretty and realistic. Now these are the pencils that I'm using today. I'll leave some links for you because I recommend these. I think they're really good. I really enjoy using these. And these are all the different numbers that you will be able to use. And I find the H pencils are good for making your light lines first, so you can erase them if you make mistakes or if you want to change something. And the B pencils are great for the dark areas and for shading dark areas. So I'll be going through that with you. So these are the pencils that we'll be using. Pretty. I'll leave a link for you in my description. You can also use a mechanical pencil for smaller lines. And you can use some blending stumps. Blending stumps have probably different sizes. Small ones for the eyes, and the bigger ones for bigger areas. And the blending stumps are really good for shading. You get all different kinds. And I also, I don't know if this is an eraser, and it's electric. It only goes by batteries, and that helps erase lines that are hard to get off. And I also have a kneaded eraser. It's a kneaded eraser. And you buy them, when you buy them, they look like this. So I'll leave the links for you where you can get those in my Amazon shop. And I'll have some paper that I'm just using the printer paper, pretty flimsy. But if you want to do it on cardstock or a sketching pad that's thicker, probably 200 pounds, I'll leave a link for that also, for some paper. Now let's start drawing. I use the H pencil for drawing those light lines in case I need to erase. And I'm going to move, now that I have my drawing done, I'm going to move to my 2B pencil. 2B pencil. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the eyes first. You can start anywhere you want, but I like doing the eyes first because it brings out the drawing. So what I would do is I would look at the eyes on the picture that you want to draw, and we'll darken up the lid. Darken up the lid. There we go. And we may go to darker pencils later, but for now we want to get us started by darkening up the lid. You may have to go over that a couple of times just to get that on there. There we go. Good. And look at your picture many times because you want to look in that corner. You want to see where everything goes. So just start with one line at a time. That way you don't get confused. So there's one line. Good, that's one eye. We'll do the other. You can do the whole eye and then, or you can move back and forth. So I'm just going to do the lid here. There we go. Make it nice and dark. We may go to a 4B, or 4B would be nice too. Just want to get this much done first. Good. Now we have the fold of the eye is in here. See it in there? So then you put that in there. Good. Nice and dark. Good. So get that much done. And now we'll put a little bit of, we'll call it graphite when we talk about these pencils, so graphite. Put in lines, little short strokes. Okay, short strokes. So it gives you that eyebrows, the little hairs under the eyebrows. Okay, and then you look at the eyebrow on the picture and try to get it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but if you want to, you're trying to make it almost, if you're doing a portrait of a family member or somebody that, if you're just doing a freehand one just for practice, don't have to be exactly the same. But if you do commissioned art and you want to do it as perfect as you can, then try to get every little way the eyebrow is and every little hair that's there if you can get it. Now I just made a little bit of a mistake right here. See the little eyebrow there? Just a little bit. So I'm going to erase that with my kneaded eraser. Kneaded eraser is good because it doesn't leave a mess. Alright, see that comes off really nice, right? Easy. Good. Good. And, oops, sorry about that. So, let's do some more lines. So look for the lines, the dark lines. So now we'll do this, the eye right here, the eye. See that? There we go, see? And then we will do the other part of the eye. And then we'll do the pupil. So just make like a backward or a C, or just make a circle, but don't join it, just so we can get a highlight in there. And under the eyelid you have some shadow, so you're going to bring that shading right down into the top of the eye and a little bit under here. Just move it down into the eye. Good, like that. See, already it's starting to look nice. And now we'll do the pupil. So I'm going to fill that in here, and I'm going to leave a bit open for the highlight. Pressing a little bit harder, so the pressure, you use pressure on your pencil when you want to really darken it, and then you just lift up your hand when you don't want it as right? As we go in here, I'm not pushing as hard, right? Good. And I'm just going in here, and I'm even making a few little circles, you know, just to make it nice and smooth. And I'm going to come down around here, but I'm making really light pressure this time so I can make it lighter down there. See? And we'll make adjustments to that as we go along. Good. You can go back and forth over different things that you did if you want to darken them up. See? Just go back again. Now, starting to come alive. And now we'll do the other eyebrow. Little short strokes. Short strokes. Start at the bottom line and pull your way up. Start at the bottom line and pull your way up. Good. We'll do the other eye. So I'm going to darken this one again. So you might want to go over your lines a few times till you get it as dark as you want. And then we'll do this one here. We're going to bring that shadow down on the top of the eye. And over here we'll bring it down into the eye. Good. Alright, and now we'll do the shading here. So when you made that line, you're coming down. Come around here. And now the pupil. Leave a spot there. And now we'll use lighter pressure on the edges here to get that nice soft look into the eye. Now I went over my highlights, so I'm going to take my knead eraser and I'm going to take that highlight, bring it out more. Just touch, push your knead eraser around a little bit, get that highlight out. If you can't get it out, then you take your electric eraser and touch. Good. That brings out even more. So we'll darken this up a bit. We may need to get a 4B pencil soon. And we want to darken this up again. So I'm going to get a 4B in a second, but I just want to do keep using the 2B to get the lines the way I want them. Good. Get that shadow on there. Might have to darken up the shadow. So I want to be nice and dark on the top there. Get your shadow and then move it into the eye, but lighten up your pressure, okay? You don't want it to be the same. You want the shadow to be a little darker. There we go. Good. Now, in the corners of the eyes, we want to darken this, shade this out a little bit, very light pressure, just to put in some, because you don't want the eyes to be too white, you want it to be more natural. A little bit over here, little shading in the corners, add a little bit of a, put a little line here in the corner for the tear duct. And just go around those lines. See how the shadows make it really, really nice. See? Makes the eyes look deep. Deep. Now we're going to go back to the 2H pencil because we're going to do the shading around the nose. And if it's too dark, it'll be harder to erase. So we got a shadow in here. Still on the H pencil. Just put in and make sure that you keep your lines together so that they're not just scribbled all over the place, okay? And then you come around the nose. See right here? So you come around here. Now every picture that you're looking at is going to be different. The shadows are going to be different, shadings. It's all going to be different. So what you learn here is going to change when you look at another picture. But at least you'll know what pencils to use, and you'll know what, if you have, you know, what pressure to use and how to blend and things like that. So that should help. So I'm just going around the nose where I see the shadows. I see the shading. Okay. Alright, let's get that nose. Let's get that nose in there. Good. And then there's a bit of shading over here, as you can see. So I got a little line there where I drew it out. And then it comes up around the nose and around here. So you just look at everywhere that you see the shade, and down here. Now we can make adjustments after, so don't worry too much if it looks kind of strange, or you can always erase the lines that you don't want in there. So I'm just going to end that there, and then we're going to go around the nose again here. I'm just following what I see. And then I have to make adjustments as I go along, or at the end if it doesn't look right, okay? Okay, that's that. Now let's get our 2B pencil again. And because I'm going into the darker area of the nostrils. You darken those up. That's it. See? Now, I'm going to go back to my 2H pencils. So we're going back and forth different pencils, just so that we want to do the lighter shading. So up over this eye you'll see some shading. See up here? So you put that in here. Some shading in here. And I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm going to shade a little bit in here. And on this edge here. And I'm going to shade a little bit in this area. And here. And that's where the hair is, right here. Just put a little line there just to separate so you can see what's going on. So let's just go with a blending stump and just move some of that shading around, okay? So I have this one here. It's good for the eyes, not huge or anything, so you got more control. So go on the line, right directly on the line, and start moving your blending stump on that line, okay? And then you can start moving that up past the line a little bit so it gives it a nice fold. Just move the blending stump around and smooth out some of that shading that you did. And then go on that other line here. And when you go on the lines, push a little harder, use more pressure. But when you're going into your shading, just lift up the pressure on your hand. Okay, and then you got your pupil here and your lines. Good. Maybe a little bit on the eyebrows. And on this line here. So start on the line first. And then move it into the top of the eye and then the very top of the eye. So you're moving past the lines, the dark lines, to blend out the shading. And come in here, very light pressure when you get in this corner here, just so it won't look too dark. If it does, we'll end up probably using our knead eraser. Now, see, just shading just makes it so pretty, doesn't it? Okay, let's go with our H pencil again. H, some people say. H, some people say. So everybody has different accent, and I wouldn't say, I always got confused with that, you know, H and H, like you say herbs and herbs. Anyway, I don't know. So now we have a line. Now let's look at the lines here. These are two lines here. See? So we're going to do those. Now what we'll do is these little lines right here. I'm using the H pencil. And there. So you can see it all starts off with lines, doesn't it? And in here we'll darken up the top line here, just to get that under the eye, just so it brings the eyes out. And here. And then we're going to take the shadow, the shading, on the side of the face. You see that right there? We will take that down here. Now, so it starts under here first. And I'm using light pressure on my H pencil, even though it's a light pencil, but still you don't want it too dark. And I'm coming over, and I see it comes down to the side of the face. So go down to the side of the face. There we go, and just around the hairline. Now if you want to darken that line a little bit, just so you can see where the hairline is, that would help. Whatever you find helps. Okay. Oops. Good. So we get that much. We need to come down, see more shadow down there. So, follow the shadow very lightly. Comes down around here. Shadows are down around here. Good. So there's a shadow right here. I gotta get it over here. So let's go with very lightly. See, I pressed a little bit too hard there. It's always hard, it's trying to keep control of your hand. It looks like it comes over here and meets up with here, but it stops before you get to the lip. So I'll fill that in very lightly. Comes all the way down to the chin. Okay. Now it's okay for these lines to look a little not as smooth, not too smooth. It's okay because we're going to smooth them out. I'm going to show you how to do that now in a second. Just got to get this on first. Let's keep looking at where the shadows are, and it goes up around here. So I'm just going to make a little line just to guide me. It looks like it goes around here and around here. Right? So if you make a little line, that will help you fill it in then. So just fill it in. Just don't go right up to the lip yet. Just go to that line. And I'm kind of shading with the side of my pencil, not the very tip of it, just to get that nice smoother look. Alright. Right down around the chin. It's very important that you don't have these lines too deep or too dark, because you want to smooth them out. There's a shadow right here by her nose. So let's see. Let's go and meet up with this one here. And shade. Don't go, leave a little bit space from the lip. And it comes over here underneath. There we go. See? And then we have a little bit under here on the top lip. A little shadow here. We also have, it comes underneath the chin. You see that part there? Comes underneath the lip here. Alright. Starting to come around. So here's how you're going to blend, or not blend, you're going to smooth out those lines. You can use some tissue paper, okay, just tissue paper, or if you get a chamois cloth or something like that, but something that's really soft, right? And it's not a paper towel, it's the tissues, the box tissues, okay? And I'm going to wrap it around my finger, and then I'm just going to rub, and you can push as hard as you want with this, and then you're going to rub that in, and that smooths it out. See? That will smooth it out. See the difference between there and up there? So I'm going to smooth that out also. But look, see how nice and smooth that is? So we will smooth out this here and here. And we'll come up around the cheek and under the eye. Good. And you can move it in towards the face. Move it out. So it doesn't matter if you touch the face. Like you can even go all around here. Doesn't matter because we're going to have to darken that skin a little bit there. Okay. So smooth that out right on the line. Move over to this one. And up around the eye. It really makes it nice and smooth. Smooth out this eye too if you want. Okay, so we're going to be doing that in a minute. So see how it's starting to come alive. I love drawing. It's so nice to be able to see things just happen. And only with just, once you get your drawing done and you start doing your shading, it's the shading that really makes it realistic looking and really pretty. So, let's do the lips. Now you're going to need your 2B pencil for this, okay, your 2B. Alright, so you're going to go back over these lines here. your 2B. Just be careful. As you can see, when you get to the top lip, it's not quite as dark as the corners. So you're going to do your corner. And then as you come up around, just lift up the pressure. Make lighter lines. Okay. And then you're going to go here. Just draw this line. Like I say, lines are the first thing that you'll do. That'll help make it a little easier for you. Just work on the lines first, okay? And then this one and the corners of the mouth. Alright. And then in here where the teeth are. See? And then we'll start figuring out where you want your shading. So this line here, we're going to thicken that up so that we get those nice shadings. And as you can see, we got all these lines. We got all these lines here like this. If you don't like that, you can just make it smooth. But here's how it works. You make your line nice and dark here. Right? Nice and dark. And then you just pull up some of those lines into the lip. And like we're going to use the tissue to smooth it out, or a blending stump. Alright, and this one goes darker, and then it takes this line here and it thickens it up. And you pull up the lines from that line, see? And then as you come up even further, you can pull up the lines a lighter touch. And on this corner here, we're going to smooth that out. So take your line and then start coming down into the lip, or up, whatever works for you, down or up. And so you shade that in. Shade it in. And as you come over here, it gets lighter, so then you lift up the pressure on your hand. And you can pull those down. But you see this line down here is dark, right? So make that nice and dark. And then start pulling that up into the lip. Actually, you don't need to pull that up too much. Just a couple little lines. You don't need very much. And then what we're going to do is, or up here, we'll bring the lines down here. Like that. Probably a couple of ones down here. And this lip here is nice and dark, so darken that up again for the tooth. And then there's a little line goes up here just to make it look like a tooth. And then we're going to take this line here, I'm going to bring that down into the lip. So very softly, light pressure, just bring that down this way, the shape of the lip. Good, see? Now we'll be adjusting things and shading them out using our needle eraser, all kinds of good stuff. So this line here, thicken it up by moving up a bit, and then you can come down to the lip. Good, and looks like there might be a little more shadow over here and a little more here. We'll thicken up that line again. Thicken up the line. Bring some of those lines down. Good. Now what we'll do is, let's try the blending stump. So take your blending stump and go over that line. Go over that line. Smooth them out. Go over the dark lines first. Smooth them out with your blending stump. And up on this line. It's okay to go inside the lip. And then we're going to go over this dark area here. We're going to go over this dark area here. And we'll just take our blending stump and with light pressure go back over these lines here. I'll smooth it out for you. And up here we'll smooth this out. The top lip, bring it down again. Or you can go on that line and bring it up. Okay. Good. We'll shadow up the teeth a little bit. And if we need to, we can adjust our teeth area just by bringing that line in here like this. Good. So there's the lips on that one. And there's the lips on this one, but you're not completed yet. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to use the kneaded eraser to highlight some of those areas. So I'm going to take my kneaded eraser and I'm going to squeeze it so I get a sharp chiseled edge. And then I'm going to pull out some highlights on the lip. And a little few up here. Just use the chisel edge. Pull out some lines there. Good. So if you need to make adjustments, just go over it with your blending stump. So that's the lips. Now, she's coming along, isn't she? Okay, so we'll take our H pencil again and we'll do this shadow over here. See that shadow? And that comes down just to the side of the face here. Okay, so let's see. So it starts under here and go under that line, go on the line and then start moving away from the line. That way you get the line a little darker here. And then you decide, it looks like it comes a little bit away from the face right there. So let's just put a little line there just to decide which way we want that to go. It comes down and then comes in towards the face here. Now here is where the shadow of the hair is. So we'll put some shadow in here just so we can see where everything is going. Okay, and some shadow here. So we'll just take a bit of shadow area here. Just pull it back. We won't do it all yet. Just enough to show us that the hair is there and the face, they're separated. Okay? And that way we'll be able to figure out where the shading goes. So a little bit of work to it, you know. If you want to do a good sketch, you need to follow everything that you see. Okay, let's try that. So I drew out the lines so I knew where to begin and where to end. And there we go. So I'm just going to fill that in. I come a little closer. Alright, there we go. I'm doing it very lightly. I'm keeping my lines close together. Alright. Do it very lightly because you don't want to get overlapping lines that go really dark. Good, that's the shadow. So let's take our tissue. Take our tissue, wrap it around your finger, and then just smooth it out. See how nice and smooth it becomes? Now, nice. Good. So let's see what's next. Take your H pencil and just make some adjustments to the nose. I feel we need a little bit more shadow here. Right here, just to bring the nose out a little bit. Corner of the nose, and maybe a little bit right here. And maybe a little bit up here. We'll just, not too much. So you make adjustments. If you want a little more shadow under the eye here, just start on the line, darken the line up a little bit, and then move away from that line, okay? Move away, light pressure. Same with this one here. Just make adjustments as you go along to see what way you want it. Good. What else? Let's see. I think I see some shadows way up here. See? So very lightly, let's continue on down here. The chin goes past, it actually goes past the paper. It's a real good close-up. And we'll come around and we will, it looks like there might be some shadow here under the chin. And we got some shadow here. So I'm making adjustments. And I think I see a little bit in the corner here. Just a little bit. And I think I see a little bit here. If something don't look right to you and you want to add a little more shadow, you go ahead. So we got some shadow going down around here. It's a bit hard to see it on the picture, but we don't want to leave the face totally white. So we'll add very light, very, very light lines down here so that we can smooth it out, because we don't want the face to be too white. So I'm just putting on some, as you can see, if I move it up you'll be able to see it. There we go. I get so caught up in the drawing I forget to look at the monitor to make sure you can see it. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, so let's put a little bit of shadow here in the corner. Just see how light it is. You can barely see it. You barely see it. I'm just using the edge of my pencil, and I'm doing the white of the face with the pencil, the side of the pencil, but you can barely see it. But when you smooth it out with the tissue, then it'll make it a nice smooth look all over the face, and it won't be so white. You don't want the white of the paper. You want some kind of realistic skin look. Alright, I'm just putting a little bit on the chin. Just smoothing it all out and I'm coming up here. Now there's right here, there's this line here. So we'll put that in. Put that in. Let's go with this line here. And coming into the eye. A little bit darker. It must be a shadow. And just fill that in. Good. And then we will very gently, you probably don't even see very much graphite coming off my pencil. But it is, okay? Because, like I said, I don't want the face to be totally white, the white of the paper, so I want to get some graphite here. It just has to be lighter than your other shadows, okay? So your other shadows are nice and dark, but they're not too dark. And we already smoothed this part out here a little bit, I think. We'll just add a little bit more graphite. Try to make them very, very light, because if you don't, you're going to get lines on the face, and you don't want that. Alright? Very, very, very light. We'll go over here and put some lines in for the here. A little bit here, just so we can see where things are going. A little bit of graphite here. We'll darken this up here in the corner. It seems to be a little darker in that corner there. Now, take your tissue, wrap it around your finger, and start smoothing out those lines that you put on there. Smooth it out. Now I don't use a blending stump for this stuff because it just leaves marks, but the tissue will smooth everything out. Okay. As long as your lines are not too heavy, we should get a nice smooth look. And you can even use some of the graphite from what you already did. We call it borrowing it from other places, and then you move it into the skin area. So like I said, now your finger might come through like this if you stay in one place. So move your finger around a lot. Move your tissue around your finger a lot, because it's probably gonna wear, and then you'll end up with your finger doing all the shading. You don't want that. I'm pushing a little hard when I have to. You need to push a little harder because you want to soften it up, so you really need to push a bit harder. Soften it over here. Good. And just go back over some of the graphite that you already did, and then you can bring it into the face area. So you get a nice soft look. Okay, so you might want to soften up the lips again. So we're getting there. Alright. So I think we need a little more shading around the nose. If you look at it there, if you look at her nose and this one, I think it needs more. You have to make adjustments. It needs to come up here more. A little bit down here. Finding this picture, do a picture, you're following it and it looks a bit off. You can adjust it if you have to. I'm going to show you different ways of drawing your portraits. I have different ways. So that other way was the pencil, right? Measuring with a pencil, but I have other ways. And I'm going to do videos on 4 or 5 different ways that you can draw without, you know, having to. So this way, with the pencil is more like freehand, right? Just to help you get there. But other ways you can do, I'll have those in another video for you. But let's do the shading on this one now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use my tissue to blend out that area that I did. Now some people don't like the smoothness. Sometimes they just want to have another way to do it. Like they just want to draw and have, you know, just scribbles all over the face, and it kind of looks cool too, right? See, just no blending, just scratching on the lines and making it look really rough. And that's okay too, right? See, but it's no blending there, and you can see it's just all scribbled on. That's one that I did want to show it to you too. So many different ways of drawing. So I cleaned up the nose here. If it needs more, you could spend, you know, many hours going back and forth. But when you get it done, people are going to say, wow, what a nice what a nice drawing you did. I'm so used to doing paintings now, I'm probably going to say painting every now and then, so, because I have many tutorials on paintings. So you have to make adjustments around the nose, and darken it up a bit more, right? So whatever you think will work to make it come out, stand out. Good. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a 4B pencil this time, so we can darken up some of those dark areas. So what we want to do is we want to create contrast. So when you create contrast in your drawings, everything stands out. So with your 4B pencil, go back over some of the lines that you already did and really darken them up as dark as you can get them. You can use a 6B if you want, or so darken up this pupil back and forth till it gets really dark. She just has eyelashes too, so what we'll do with that is we will thicken up that eye. Thicken that up, that line, so we get it So we get some eyelashes on there. So just thicken up the line first, and then just bring out some nice little short strokes. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Maybe a little small one in between the bigger ones. Try to get a little bit natural there. So you make your bigger ones and add a couple of small ones in between. They can be crooked and everything because you want to make it natural. And this line here can be darker, so we can create contrast. Good. Same over here. You can go back and forth like that if you want to get the graphite to be nice and dark. Good pressure, heavy pressure. Darken up this area here. Just the dark areas, okay? This line here is not too bad. I don't think we need to do much with that. A little bit darker over here is fine. And maybe a few little darker lines on the eyebrow, but you don't want to do the whole area. You just want to make a few dark lines. Okay, just to bring it out a little more, but just a few little lines. And start at the bottom and work your way up, but not straight up now. Make it, you know, go with the shape of the eyebrow. And then we'll darken up the nostrils. Again, trying to get lots of contrast. Make these really, really dark. And then the lips. And the corners here, we'll darken these up nice. Probably bring up a little bit of some of the darkness here. Thicken up the line, bring it over here. Thicken up the line by bringing it out a little bit. And underneath here. And here. Good, see the contrast brings it out really nice, doesn't it? And get your blending stump. Go back over that line and that line. All the lines that you darkened up, go back over them, and you can even pull out some of that graphite into the lip there. Good. Move some of that graphite around the lip. Probably bring a little more on the top there. Because you have graphite on your blending stump now, so you can move it around and share it with the rest of the lip. See how the contrast now makes it all come out nice. We could even take the blending stump, and it's a dirty blending stump, and we can darken underneath here, make a little more contrast under the eye. Good. So you don't want more pencil because you may have put too much on then. A little bit here, just adjust some of your lines if you want to make them a little bit darker. Good. I think she looks pretty nice. If you think you need, I can see it looks like I need a little more. The nose is the problem I'm having with this one because I think in the picture is a little bit off, but I want to go by the picture to show it, so I can show you. I think that might be it there. Thinking. Could be wrong. Try that. A bit of tissue to spread it out. You might say, why don't you use the blending stump? Well, like I said, the blending stump will leave marks. So the blending stump is great for those heavy lines. Okay. So it looks like that do come around a bit more this way. There we go. Maybe it comes out a little bit more here. Try to get a shape there. Might be a little off. And try that. Okay, good. So we'll do the other eyelashes I should say. So we went back over this line here. I can thicken it up a little bit so we can put some eyelashes on there. Just a little bit thickness there. thicken it up a little bit for the eyelashes. Good. And we just have these little strokes. From the line, pull out. Pull out. It's almost a little curve. And then you go out, out, and we'll just go like that. Curve, 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 and little curve. And then just put a couple of little ones in between what you just did, just to give it more thickness. Good. Eyelashes. If they're too straight, make sure you curve them, right? Curve some more than others if you want. You can spend an hour at the eyelashes. But I want to keep moving. Nice. I think she looks pretty good. Yep. So we'll do the hair now, and then the hair will then bring the face out. So this part of the hair here is pretty light. So we got some darks going on here. So this in between here is kind of light. So we'll just put some lines in. And maybe come up from the bottom just to give it a bottom. Bring those lines together. Leave that space, but you can still put some lines in between there, but leave that space more open. And that's that part over here. Some more lines. These lines are close together. And some lighter lines over here. So you can add pressure where the darks are. See? So up here, some more lines going on there. So make some darker lines right here like this. Leave some openings for the talking too much, my throat's getting dry. Okay, so just coming up with some of these lines here. Over here it's pretty dark. I'll just darken that up. I'm actually going to be doing this in acrylic painting, so keep an eye out for that video. But I just thought I'd show you how to draw it too, you know. So it's nice to know how to draw and paint. So you want to do a painting of a portrait, we'll be doing this one. And you guys can email me. As I always say, if you can't find links or you just can't find it and you don't, just email me and I'll send you the link, okay? To any video that you can't find. If I say to you I'm doing a portrait on this, don't be afraid to email me. You're not bothering me because I love to hear from you. And I'll send you the links or I'll put you in the right direction. If you got any questions on supplies, art supplies, or anything at all, because this is all I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. Time I get out of bed, time I go to bed, I'm checking my emails, see if you guys are emailing me, and if I don't get back to you right away, it's only because I'm probably doing an art class or something. But this is what I do every day. I paint and I draw and I do videos and I do commissioned artwork and I teach art in my studio, and I just, all I want to do. It's great. So, you know, I decided that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life now. And it's very, very fun and enjoyable. So see, now we're gonna smooth that out. So let's take our tissue and see how that works. So just take your tissue. You can make circles, you can go up and down, doesn't matter. And just put your tissue on there. If your tissue, when you come off the graphite and you go on the regular paper, you'll find that the tissue will stick. So pick up some more graphite on your tissue if you can. Go right to the graphite. Okay. There we go. So smooth all that out. And then we're going to go back over it again to straighten it up. But see how nice and soft that looks though? You can even leave it like that if you want to. See? Just by using the tissue. Isn't that nice? So if you want to darken up some more areas, just take your 2B pencil. 2B, yeah, I would say 2B is good enough. Because the hair is not really that dark. And just go into some of the areas where you want to darken them up. Get contrast. Always think about contrast in your drawings and really bring out the highlights and make things stand right out. So we can go back in and make some more of these lines darker. Really darken up some of the areas. There we go. So, because it's so nice on, you know, on the picture, I don't want to make lines too dark, but you can go over the lines again where you want them darker. So just pick some spots. There we go. Now if you want to, you can get a blending stump and you can go over some of those lines here with a blending stump. You can probably just go over just the dark lines to bring them out a bit more, and you can spread them around. See? Take your blending stump and spread out the lines. Blending stump is not that great for your face area, but for the hair, and you can get some nice, get things smoothed out nice. There we go. And just put, like I say, spread out. Push a little harder on the lines that you want to darken, and just lift up a little bit for the ones that you just want to spread out and you don't want to lose. Good. So that's that. And then you can also, you can take your kneaded eraser and make your chisel edge again, and then you can take out some more highlights in the hair. Right, like this. Can you see them? See? Some highlights. Okay, so that's that side, and all we have to do now is the other side of the hair, and then I'll say it's done, but if you have any adjustments to make, you certainly can. So I got my 2B pencil. Yeah, 2B is good. So on the other side, let's see if we can get something like that. Okay, so we got the hair up here. Comes down around the eye. Comes down around the face. Can you see that okay? And here. And here. So you can see right here it's nice and dark. So we will come down around here. And then we will take that line and probably push it in a little further. Make it a little thicker. See, as you can see, it's all about lines, isn't it? So that's that line, and then we're going to come down here, and we're going to pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, making it a little curved. This is because you're going to get, these are the ends of the hair, so you want to make them shapely. So pull up, make your lines nice and close together. Okay. And hopefully you can see this okay. Okay, so when you pull up like this, then you are going to, you have this here, Go bring some lines in like we did the other side. Just bring some lines in to get curve of here. So go around the curve of the face. It looks like that line there comes down here and comes over the here like this to make this one here look like it's going underneath. So we'll darken this line up, and then we will bring some lines in here down around the eye, and then we'll come out around this edge here and leave that little bit there for a highlight, and we'll come in here and darken that up nice and dark. Come on up again, leave some for highlights, see? Good. And then we'll do, let's see, go with the curve. See his curve, right? See that curve? That's a line, look. So that's a line. So we'll come over here and we'll curve it. See, it's following this curve. So come over here and follow that curve and come on down. And the rest of them are kind of a little curvy, but alright, so once you get your lines in, then you can start filling in some lines very lightly. Don't put the lines in too dark, because if you need to erase them, you won't be able to get them off. So just see, it looks like a shadow here, and here it looks like a skipping line here, skip a spot there. This shadow here goes in here, in top of the eye there, so that's where the shadow goes there. So keep an eye out for where things are going, right? And then down here underneath the lid, there's another shadow here, so you leave that space. Just be aware of where everything goes. And you come on down here. You notice it's a bit darker here, so you can fill that in a bit darker here and a little bit here. That dark one goes across from the lip. This can come in a little bit more here. And what else we got? Let's see, it's nice and dark down here, and then we got some darkness over here, and that darkness is across from the nose. So you want to see where everything goes to make it make sense. Good. And then up here is a shadow, so that's that line here. It just fills in. Comes down beneath that one. And then we have some more. We can skip over some of this just by making a few little lines, but where the shadows are, this up here, it's across from the eyebrow, up here. Alright, good. Now, smooth it out. So we'll take our tissue, wrap it around your finger, and start smoothing. Start smoothing it, see? And then come up here. We may need to put a few more lines in here, but we'll do that in a minute. Smooth it all out. Here we go. Okay. Oops. Now, good. You might have to push a little hard if you can't get the lines. If your lines are too dark, you'll end up keeping some of the lines. So try to make them as light as you can, only the darker areas, the contrasted areas. Good. That looks pretty good. Now what do we need to do for contrast here? I wonder. Let's have a look. Let's go with the 4B and just put, maybe darken it up here. Don't need too much darks. A little bit here, a little bit here and here. Darken up some of those areas. There we go, just go over some of the darker areas again. So, now, so where you think you need more darker areas. Like I said, if you can get contrast, it'll make a big difference in your drawings. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. Add a few more lines here, just to bring it together. I think we're good. I think we're good. So, I'm thinking I might need probably a little few lines here just to bring it together a little more. Okay, that's a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tissue again, wrap it around my finger and just smooth that out. Good. I'll take it into the face a little bit, I think. Just move some of that graphite around to give it the shadows, a little more shadowy look. Move some of it around on the face, just so that we can have the skin more softer looking. Okay, just moving it around, moving the tissue won't do any harm. It'll just move the graphite around, but it won't give it to, you know, like, how to explain it? It won't give you any really harsh, like the blending stump will leave really bad marks, but the tissue won't. And you can move all around the face and stuff and add a little more graphite to the areas that you want to. Soften it up, see? So it's not exactly, it's not that white look, you know what I mean? It's not that white look to the tissue, paper, goodness gracious. The paper that we're drawing on. So we don't want to have it completely white. So we'll just go over everything with the tissue. See? It softens it up so nice. Now, if you want more lines on the lips, you can certainly do that with your H pencil. You want to bring in some more lines here. So look at your drawing before you say, okay, I got it finished, I'm done. Have one more quick look and see where you can add a few more little extras. You know, if you need more lines on the lips, or... And then you don't need to, actually you don't really need to soften it up anymore then. Just add a few little extra touches if you think you need them. Okay, I can't see too much there now. So teeth are a little bit white, so I'll probably blend them down, or do that a little bit. Not much, but anyway, so that's the picture we're going by. Alright, that's the picture. Oops. That's the picture that I printed off of my computer. I believe I got that reference photo from Pixabay. Love Pixabay. And that's the one that I drew before I did the one. And that's got a little bit darker contrast to it. And that's the one I drew before I did the video. And that's the one I drew. As you see, I just scribbled everything together, and I did my measuring with my pencil to get something there. And then I finally drew the one that I wanted to shade, and that's the final result. And it came out pretty nice. So if you followed along with me, then maybe yours will come out as good as this. All about shading and contrast. So when just give you a little tip. When you print off your photograph, if you're drawing in black and white, print off your photograph in black and white. That way you can see where everything, the shading all goes. That's how, you know, I knew where all the shading went on the one we just drew. This is the one we just drew. And it's on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, okay? And you can enlarge your drawing. If you want a bigger drawing, you can enlarge it. Okay? So I just want to see. Needs more shading over here, I think. You know, so if you want to reshade, or you know, a little more shading, or whatever you think needs adjusted, go ahead. But that came out pretty good. So that's it for now for today, and I will let you go, and I will see you in the next video. I will be doing a portrait, and I'm also going to show you how to do different ways of drawing from a photo. And that's it for now. So you guys have a great day and happy drawing. Bye.